interaction with Karthik ji.
Namaste. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Karthik ji.
Good morning, Pranjal.
So we are privileged to have with us someone who is impacting and influencing several lives. We have Mr. Karthik Bajoria with us. Mr. Karthik Bajoria is a native of Jaipur itself. He went to the very prestigious Doon School for his school education. And this Doon School is the same school in which our former Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, did his schooling from. And Mr. Karthik was the editor of the school magazine of the Doon School. He did his graduation from the Hindu College and went to New York to study films at the New York Film Academy. He has spent a decade in television and film industry as a writer, director, and producer. He came back to Jaipur in 2013. He has indulged his passion for education by teaching extensively through one-on-one lessons and short as well as long-term workshops at a number of schools, colleges, and universities. He specializes in the area of writing and communication, and he's a sought-after speaker, moderator, and an acclaimed columnist. He writes for several English newspapers, and I have been a part of one of his workshops, and it was a delight for all the participants. So, Mr. Karthik, we start with this conversation. You are from Jaipur and then to Dehradun and then to Hindu College, then New York and then Mumbai, and had a successful career in film. So what made you come back to Jaipur? Because people usually go from Jaipur to Bangalore and Mumbai and elsewhere to make their careers. You came back to Jaipur, made your own career and made careers and helping out making careers of thousands and hundreds of students. So
Thank you, Pranjal. Lovely question. Before I get into that, your very flattering and mostly accurate introduction में एक छोटी सी गलती थी. At Doon, I was not the editor of my school magazine. That was a friend of mine. So that's just one quick correction because we should be clear on these things. Why did I come back to Jaipur? Actually, it goes to the point that Anant was making in the beginning. It is simply because a process of self-discovery is not something that takes place in a finite manner. It's not something that takes place only from the ages of 1 to 5 or 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 or your early adulthood. It's a lifelong process. So if along the course of your life, you realize certain things about yourself, in my case, after spending about a decade in the media industry, I realized a few things about myself. Number one, कि आज की परिभाषा के हिसाब से जो आज की सक्सेस और एम्बिशन की परिभाषा होती है उसके हिसाब से शायद मैं थोड़ा अलग हूं because I personally, and everyone has the freedom to do this for themselves, I personally don't define success or ambition or satisfaction purely or largely from money. So I realized that जो मीडिया इंडस्ट्री है, फिल्म इंडस्ट्री है, वो क्रिएटिवली बहुत सैटिस्फाइंग इंडस्ट्री है, पर वो एक बहुत ही इनडिसिप्लिन्ड और chaotic इंडस्ट्री भी है. So it is better suited to somebody who thrives and revels in that kind of pressure cooker environment. And that was not me. I'm not that kind of person. So that's one realization that I had. The second realization that I had, Pranjal, was that I got, by chance, a family friend asked me in Bombay while I was still in the media to come and take some English classes at her school because unki English teacher shayad chhod gayi thi and they needed a person to fill in for some time. And when I walked into the classroom, it was like that eureka moment. And I was already in my early 30s, but I suddenly realized and it clicked. And I think I found finally my own existential crisis was over and I found my purpose in life because there was such a huge connect and happiness being in the classroom and interacting with students that was the second big realization that I had that, perhaps I'm pursuing the wrong area of work. What I really, really instinctively love to do is to interact with children, students, and teach. So that was the second realization that I had. And the third realization I had was everybody and Pranjal, that both my wife and I don't think we were the kind of people who really took to the big city Bombay fast-paced life, which again goes back to the first point that I made, that perhaps आज के परिभाषा के हिसाब से we are not very ambitious. हमें ऐसा चाहिए कि हम हमारी जिंदगी में बहुत healthy work-life balance रहे. We don't want to work 18 hours a day and get burnt out by the time we're in our late 30s or early 40s. So all these things contributed to coming back. And of course, मैंने जयपुर 1991 से छोड़ा हुआ था because in class 6 I went off to boarding school, and then by sheer coincidence, everything post school also was outside of Jaipur. My parents were back here. I wanted to come back to family, and I happen to absolutely love Jaipur. I think Jaipur is in that sweet spot of the so-called tier 2 cities in this country, where the quality of life that the city gives you is fantastic. You can never have that quality of life in a big city. So there were many, many realizations about myself and about other things that contributed to my coming back, and that's why I came back.
So even I lived in Mumbai for a few years, and I am back in Jaipur, and I feel great being here. And I even, we have similar realizations about Mumbai and Jaipur. So moving to today's topic is discovering your truth. So what exactly are we talking about? What is the truth? How to go about discovering it?
Right. इसका छोटा सा मुझे बैकग्राउंड देने की परमिशन दो प्लीज. सो मेरे मॉडेस्ट और हम्बल ऑब्जर्वेशन में एक दो चीजें मैंने ऑब्जर्व की हैं. ऑफ कोर्स दिस डज नॉट अप्लाई टू एवरी सिंगल फैमिली इन इंडिया, बट आई थिंक इट अप्लाइज टू अ लॉट ऑफ फैमिलीज. क्या है वो बात? वो ये बात है कि अगर हम थोड़ा सा भी अपने आप से सच कहें एंड अपने आप को क्वेश्चन करें, तो हम ये शायद पाएंगे that in a lot of Indian families, children who are growing up in an Indian household, उन्हें कम ही बार उनके ओपिनियन के बारे में पूछा जाता है. There are very few instances from the smallest thing of बेटा lunch में क्या खाओगे and other similar small things to the largest decisions in life. What subjects will you choose? What career will you pursue? Which college you will go to? Whom will you marry? When will you marry? How many children will you have? When will you have them? ये सारे सबसे छोटे से छोटे decisions से सबसे बड़े decisions, ये पूरा decision making universe, most cases में either the parents are making those decisions or somebody or the other in the family is making the decision. Anyone except that particular individual. And I find this to be a huge tragedy. Why? Because first and foremost, what it does is that it prevents us Indians from developing any kind of a opinion making ability for ourselves. हम अपने आप के बारे में और अपने आप से independently सोच नहीं सकते हैं. We are very, very good at certain skills. हम लोग हमें एक टेक्स्ट बुक दी जाएगी, we will cram it up and we will be able to reproduce it verbatim. But the moment you say कि अच्छा ये फलाना फलाना क्राइसिस हो रही है दुनिया में, इस पे आपकी क्या राय है, most Indian students will not be able to articulate an opinion of them for themselves, because हमारे कल्चर में, हमारे ethos में, हमारी upbringing में वो opinion formation का germ का seed बोया ही नहीं गया है. So when I talk about discovering your truth, I think it starts from right there, from as early as possible. जब जिसे हम कहते हैं जब बच्चे को होश आता है, उस समय से if we can develop in individuals the ability and allow them the freedom of self-discovery and of self-expression, of voicing their opinions, of making their own decisions and making their mistakes and realizing from those mistakes, we will end up in a society with individuals who are making decisions for themselves, not trying to satisfy somebody else and not realizing someone else's dreams, whether it's the parents' dreams or the society's dreams or the community's dreams or the siblings' dreams or the grandparents' dreams. It shouldn't be that. So this process of discovering your own truth can only come about if we allow our children to be free thinking individuals and express those opinions freely and respect them for those opinions. So that's really where it all begins. मेरे पर्सनल लाइफ में जब मैं बोर्डिंग स्कूल गया तो शायद पहली बार मुझे इस चीज का अनुभव हुआ कि discover your own passions, voice your opinions freely. The teachers that I had at school, they encouraged all of us, and that is what I try and do in my own small modest way with my students now. मैं जब भी किसी नए स्टूडेंट को पहली बार मिलता हूं और उसके साथ क्लासेस शुरू होने से पहले I just say one thing. Number one, be brutally honest. अगर क्लास में बैठ के ये लग रहा है कि आज सर कुछ बहुत बोरिंग पढ़ा रहे हैं, मुझे सीधे मुंह पे बोल दो. Don't look at the clock and say कि अब तो 5 मिनट बाकी हैं, इसका भाषण बंद हो जाएगा, तब तो अगले हफ्ते बाद. That is not the done thing. And number two, I always encourage my students to argue, debate, and fight with me, because they must express their opinions. So that's really where it starts. And again, going back to Anant's point of then, of course, this process of self-discovery and discovering your own truth is a lifelong process. एक आदमी physically हो सकता है केवल 18, 19, 20 साल तक grow करता है, but mentally and in every other way, we are growing and evolving beings till our dying days. So if at 40 I realize कि अच्छा अब मैं teaching से ऊब गया हूँ, मुझे जाके खेती करनी है, I'll go and do it. But we have to instill that confidence in our younger generation to be seekers. We have to convince our younger people that life is not about the destination. It is about the journey, and the journey will have twists and turns, and एक पड़ाव आएगा, आपको रास्ता बदलना पड़ेगा. That's what the fun is all about. It's not about reaching that destination. So this discovering of yourself and your truth is a lifelong process, and you must be open to evolving and changing your own mind. आपने कहीं किसी को स्टैम्प पेपर पे लिख के नहीं दिया है कि अब मैं डेंटिस्ट हो गया हूं तो अब मैं डेंटिस्ट ही रहूंगा. So yeah, that's really what it is. Discovering your own truth is an ongoing, lifelong process.
We know a dentist who is a successful storyteller now, a successful storyteller in Jaipur. So that's about discovering your truth. So what is there some incidents? Is there a person who made you discover your truth and you feel so strongly about it, right? This thing. So and what made you make you people realize that truth? You are always asking students to be passionate, just look within yourself and go for what you want.
उसका एक बहुत deeply personal reason है. तो जब मैं जयपुर से देहरादून गया पढ़ने 1991-92 के आसपास, I was in class 6. Please understand कि मैं यहाँ पे जयपुर में SMS school में था, which is a wonderful school, but that was a CBSE school, and I was suddenly in a place called Doon School, which many people regard as an elitist school, या उसके बारे में काफी सारे और लोगों के perceptions हैं. But suffice it to say that when I got to the Doon School campus, it was a huge culture shock for me. Why? Because number one, nobody else from Jaipur was there. Number two, it has always been the kind of institution which has kids from the best families of the country and outside sending their children to. I felt very, very, very out of place. But you know what I realized? I realized that I was feeling out of place because of my own insecurities, lack of confidence, and complexes, not because the people there were some aliens. So what happened was that the initial 1 or 2 months, I felt very out of place. I felt as if I will not fit in, I will not be accepted. लोग सोचेंगे कि ये कौन है, CBSE school, छोटे से शहर से, not very smart, etc. All those complexes haunted me, and I had a miserable beginning couple of months. I started learning Hindustani classical vocal since I was 6 years old. पर ये एक ऐसी चीज थी जो मेरे सर में उस elitist वातावरण में it would have made me even more uncool to admit कि भाई मैं तो भीमसेन जोशी के भजन गाऊंगा. So मैंने ये बात किसी को नहीं बताई. But then one of my masters, my music head of department, said that, listen, buddy, you have a real talent. Why don't you pursue it? Why don't you celebrate it? Why don't you own it? Why aren't you passionate about it? Why are you hiding it? And the moment I did that, Pranjal, the moment I sat on stage for the first time in my first inter-house music competition at Doon School, just 2 months after joining that school, these same people जो मेरे दिमाग में मेरी खिल्ली उड़ा रहे थे कि अरे ये कौन छोटे शहर से आ गया गंवार, those same people's attitude changed towards me completely, and there was a newfound respect that developed for me, and a new identity and a unique identity that I established for myself thanks to my passion and talent for Hindustani classical music. That is when I realized that whatever your truth is, you have to own it. And if you own it, people will respect you for it. That was one of the most important incidents that happened to me personally, which made me realize the value of embracing one's truth.
So even I love listening to Kumar Gandharv and Pandit Jasraj and Pandit Rajan Sajan Mishra, and I attend concerts by Speak Mackey, so I can be one of your admirers. I never knew that aspect of your personality. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah, so that made you feel the power in you and make others feel their own strengths. So I heard your TEDx speech about your uniqueness is your true calling. So you unfolded your own journey in that speech, but not everybody might be able to embrace his uniqueness because of circumstances. Someone might have to work in office just because he has to meet the demands of the family, because not everybody is from an affluent family.
Absolutely.
So people are generally have to follow the norms of the society because
Yes.
we are part of the society, and we
Yes.
have to follow the trends, and we are so cautious of not being judged by people, not being analyzed by people. We are so cautious that we need to be a part of the crowd, and we don't want to be in an awkward situation. So what's your take on it? So how would...
That's an excellent question. So Pranjal, एक तो मैं ये चीज beginning में बहुत चीख के acknowledge और कहना चाहूंगा कि मैं अपनी privileged position और situation से भली भांति वाकिफ हूं, उसे बहुत seriously लेता हूं, and I know how deeply privileged I am. It's not something that I take lightly. We all know कि teaching एक ऐसा दायरा है जिसमें unfortunately the livelihood that you make out of teaching is very modest, very little. I know that I don't have to rely only on my teaching income, वरना मैं ये नहीं कर पाता. So that is something that I take very, very seriously, and I do not take it for granted. To answer your question about the blatant truth of a vast majority of society, where, let's put it crudely, let's call a spade, where there's an individual, whether it's a man or a woman, who needs to put those 2 square meals a day on the table. That person simply doesn't have the luxury of whatever we are saying, follow your passion, ye wo, because then ये सब किताबी बातें लगती हैं, and it can actually sound very irritating. To that, I will say just one thing, Pranjal. COVID को एक बार अगर अपन नजरअंदाज कर दें, that's what I try and tell my students, and I actually do a lot of my talking and counseling with parents also, कि please understand, अब और 10 साल पहले में बहुत सिनारियो genuinely change हो गया है. जो 10, 15, 20 साल पहले तक हमारे पेरेंट्स और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स बोलते थे कि भैया ये 4 ऑप्शंस हैं जो प्री अप्रूव्ड सेफ जॉब ऑप्शंस हैं, या तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज का एग्जाम दे लो, या डॉक्टर बन जाओ, या इंजीनियर बन जाओ. उस सिचुएशन में जेन्युइनली चेंज आया है. देयर आर मेनी सो कॉल्ड अल्टरनेटिव करियर्स जो आज के दिन एक व्यक्ति अगर उस और आकर्षित है, पैशनेट है, उसमें वो लेजिटिमेटली एक रीजनेबल लाइवलीहुड बना सकता है. जस्ट टू गिव यू अ फ्यू क्विक एग्जांपल्स, एनिमेशन, गेमिंग, if somebody is very passionate about sports, this is a very good example that I always try and explain to parents. Let's say that there's a girl who was excellent at football, but we know कि भाई हर वो व्यक्ति जो फुटबॉल में excellent है वो क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो तो बन नहीं जाएगा. But even with that sports का passion, there are so many other areas now that you can go into. You can study sports management. You can do sports people's management. There are many avenues. My simple point is that the job and scenario and the world working environment has changed. You don't have to only go into those 4 set careers in order to make a decent living. And then you have to strike that balance between, okay, fine, you gave up your parents or your family's dream of you're becoming a doctor. ठीक है, there might be a certain pay cut that you need to take, but on the flip side is that you'll be in a job and in a career that you love to do. You want to wake up every morning and do that job. So that balance has to be struck.
Right. So, but I feel that person who would be going for something different would be, risking himself. And because, there are things in life like zimmedari, rozi roti, parivar, they take over, and there is pressure from everywhere that you have to follow.
I completely agree with you, but all I'm submitting is that, like Anant is a shining example of what we are talking about. There is a certain amount of risk you have to take, but if you don't take that risk for your own passion, then what will you take it for? And again, it doesn't, मैं ये कभी नहीं बोलता हूँ कि अपने passion के लिए become a starving artist and tell your family कि नहीं बस मैं तो अब जाके mural paint करूँगा free में अपने जिंदगी भर और आप लोग अपना देख लें. There is a way of striking a balance, right? So even if, for example, you're a very passionate artist, पर आपको recognition नहीं मिल रहा है, आप वो भी काम कर सकते हो, but you can use your artistic skills to even do commercial art and in the meantime have a job at an advertising agency or a design company and get that fixed salary. So those things can coexist. आज के दिन 90% artists in this country, they earn their main bread and butter by doing commissioned projects, by making art on order for hotel lobbies, etc., for private clients. और जो उनको instinctively उनके अंदर से art निकलता है, वो चाहे कोई खरीदता हो या नहीं हो, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, वो भी करते हैं, but they balance it with doing some commercial work which satisfies all the needs and desires and wants and compulsions that we are talking about of rosy roti, etc., etc.
Right. So there can be a balance managing things. You are so highly qualified, you are privileged, as you rightly said, but not everyone is. But still, people wish to have a good personality, good communication skills, creative writing they might want to pursue or develop. So if they do not have such credentials and qualifications, how can they be better communication skills? Because people really struggle with this department.
Okay, lovely question again. You're asking me great questions. मैं इन पे extempore घंटों से तक बोल सकता हूँ. Okay, so let me make one thing very clear. If you consider me a decent speaker, it is not because of my credentials or my qualifications. I promise you. Let me give you an example. अगर आप 5 मिनट ठंडे दिमाग से बैठ के सोचें कि over the years आपको किस तरह के speakers, public speakers ने प्रभावित किया है, I think in a lot of cases, in a majority of names that you come up with, you will realize कि वो आपको इतना प्रभावित इसलिए नहीं कर रहे हैं कि वो इंग्लिश, हिंदी या किसी और लैंग्वेज के पंडित हैं. Influential speakers are influential because of their perspective and their opinions, not because of the language that they use in order to communicate those opinions. So, my simple point is, the first thing I always say in my, एक तो मुझे ये phrase बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है, पर अभी यही प्रचलित हो गया है, personality development, जिसे हम कहते हैं. पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट और पब्लिक स्पीकिंग सेशंस में मैं हमेशा ये बोलता हूं, और बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स और इंस्टीट्यूट्स को ये बहुत अटपटी सी बात लगती है कि ये पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट ट्रेनर ही ऐसे कैसे बोल रहा है दैट लैंग्वेज इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, बट इट रियली इज नॉट. it all goes back to that same thing that we were talking about earlier, that if you can develop the ability of forming your own opinions, if you can develop the ability of critically analyzing a subject, an issue, and a happening, then and form considered opinions, educated opinions on the basis of your analysis and research, you will become over time an effective communicator. It is not about using या तो बहुत ही जटिल या क्लिष्ट या pure Hindi या Shashi Tharoor type of English.
Right. Yeah, but a language helps in it. It can be a topping or an add-on, but not the main thing, right?
It can be, but of course it can be. But Pranjal, language helps to the extent that the garnish of dhania helps in a very well-made chicken curry. It cannot substitute the dish itself.
Right. So I was going through your article in the newspaper. The way you select words, you think a lot before you write something. I was going through your article, striking the right chord, which is related to the Indian education system. Now, around a week ago, we always followed that Macaulay education system in India, which destroyed a lot of things.
Absolutely.
But around a week ago, we had a new education policy, new education system coming up in India. It will be implemented soon. So, being a reformer, I would use the word reformer for you because you desire reforms in education sector. So, what do you think this policy is going to transform in India? What do you say about educational reform? Is it going to address these issues which you were talking about? Is it going to make things better for students and the coming generation of India?
It's going to sound like a very diplomatic answer, but that is truthfully what I felt जब मैंने थोड़ा बहुत, मैंने ज़्यादा study नहीं किया है, पर जो भी थोड़ा बहुत मुझे पढ़ने को मिला है, my initial thoughts are these. Number one, the new education policy itself seems very, very good. हालांकि उसमें बहुत clear US education policy की झलक मुझे लगती है, but still, that I mean, if you're copying, copy from the best. So nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that the present dispensation, even before the new education policy, a lot of policies and plans and things have come out. It really will boil down to implementation. If it can be implemented, even 50% or 30% or 40% of what it outlines, of course it will have a transformatory effect. But it all depends on implementation. I'll give you an example. It is now, the new education policy talks about things like combining subjects. तो आपने एक science side का subject ले लिया और एक arts का subject साथ में ले लिया और combine कर लिया, or you can do physics and carpentry, or you can do math and art. All these things have been happening, which not just me, मैं तो बहुत एक small fry हूँ. A lot of educators and thinkers have been talking about and stressing the need for it. And this was another wonderful, wonderful thing that used to happen in my school many, many years ago. Now I'm prehistoric. I passed out of school 25 years ago. But even उस समय I remember जब 10th के boards के बाद हम लोग subjects choose करते थे, जहाँ हालांकि even till now, generally in schools, the bright ones are given science and the middle ones are given commerce and the real daddos are given arts. Even at that time in 96, 95, 1995 की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, post 10th boards in Doon, even if I got 40% in my 10th boards, I could opt for all sciences. So there were certain institutions which were doing this. Now, of course, the new education policy lays bare and makes it extremely flexible. Let's just hope it's implemented to the T.
Right. So now we have what you say about the new education policy is that it looks wonderful, but now let's wait and watch how and how much is it implemented.
Exactly.
Right? So it will all come down to implementation.
Exactly. Also, the other thing here that happens is, and I'm sure all those plans are there, हमारी country में ऐसा बहुत बार होता है, and I know this from personal experience. What has happened? Aajkal, forget the education policy for a minute. In the past 5 years, there's been this bhedchal in schools to get the IB board. I think we've all heard of IB board, International Baccalaureate. तो जो सारे ट्रेडिशनल स्कूल्स थे जिनमें ICSE, CBSE या कोई भी स्टेट बोर्ड चल रहा था, now a lot of those schools offer IB board. बहुत बढ़िया बात है. It's an excellent board. It's a lovely philosophy of education. It's experimental. It's experiential. All those things are there. It makes students going abroad to study after school also much easier. But what has not happened? Most schools which are offering the IB board, they have not trained the teachers well enough to execute that board. तो हम बहुत जल्दी changes implement कर देते हैं, पर उनको what all goes into implementation of those changes and the human resource retraining part of it is something that we tend to miss out on. And I'm very fearful for that aspect in terms of the implementation of the new education policy. So let's hope the government does that.
So how you bounce back in your life? Bounce back is a term I would like using in your context. When it comes to you, I would love using the term bounce back. Now you define it, how you define it, how it helped you in coming out of, how you came out of the challenges you faced, what were those challenges, and how we can be inspired.
I don't know if anyone can be inspired, but so last October I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and it was very, very shocking. It was very shocking because the first thing that happens when you are diagnosed with something like this is aap poochte ho, why me? That's the first question. And then you go into this self-pity zone of I'm not even 40, I have a child who's only not even 3 years old, etc., etc. And ye sare elements ko leke, and you start kosoing yourself and you start cursing your life and your luck and all those kind of things. The first thought that occurred to me when I was told that I have cancer was my 2.5-year-old daughter's image came in front of my eyes, and I thought that, oh my God, if something were to happen to me, God forbid, then what happens to this child? And then very quickly, Pranjal, two things happened that helped me bounce back, and I've spoken about this in various forum and podcasts, etc. एक तो जो सबसे बड़ी मेरी worry थी when I found out, which was what will happen to my daughter, funnily enough, that became my greatest strength and inspiration to carry on and fight, right? So while on the one hand, my initial response was, oh my God, what happens to my daughter? The very next day, the thing was that, oh my God, I must fight this for her sake. So that's one big thing that helped me to bounce back. And the other thing which I keep saying is, so finding out about any terminal illness which can potentially be lethal is very similar to finding about someone very, very close to you dying or passing away. जब अपन किसी के बारे में अपन को पता चलता है that someone very dear to us has passed away, we go through various stages of grief. Now, I feel that what helped me bounce back was that I did not deny myself or question any of those stages of grief. मैंने ये अपने आप को कभी नहीं बोला या पूछा कि, oh, Karthik, you're feeling bad. How can you do that? You're not a man. How can you sit and cry? So you cannot deny yourself any of those stages of grief, whether it begins with denial, which is the biggest one, or frustration, or anger, or worry, or feeling sorry for yourself. These are all, you have to go through those natural steps and allow your mind and body to feel them in order to heal and bounce back. I suspect, मुझे पता नहीं है, but I suspect that again, because of societal pressures and so many other pressures that we put on ourselves, we don't allow ourselves to go through the stages that we need to go through emotionally in order to bounce back and come to a place of positivity.
Right. I was attending sessions by someone at the Jaipur Literature Festival, Manisha Koirala also had cancer. Yuvraj Singh had cancer. Liza Ray had cancer. It's very common these days, and many celebrities in India had cancer. There are people who came up with books on cancer, and Manisha Koirala shared that she got support from people whom she was not expecting to support her at that time, and she did not get support from people whom she was expecting that they would support her. So this happened, and she discovered that when she went through cancer.
Okay, so if I can interrupt you very quickly, this was the third and big reason for my bouncing back. होता ये है कि चाहे आपको कैंसर हो या कोविड, ना सिर्फ इंडिया में, वर्ल्ड ओवर, जिस भी व्यक्ति को, स्पेशली इफ इट्स अ मैन, जिस भी आदमी को कोई भी ट्रॉमा हो रही है, चाहे वो डिप्रेशन हो या एडिक्शन हो या कैंसर हो या कोविड हो या कुछ भी हो, that person goes into hiding. Because why? How can we admit to public कि we are suffering and we are not feeling okay? वो तो भाई नामर्द वाली बात हो गई. Because how can it all goes back to that same, those decades and decades of patriarchy which have been stuffed into our society and into our DNA and into our way of thinking, that how can a man be weak? How can a man have a white spirit like a vodka? He must have a man's drink and have a scotch. All those things and reasons which are deep rooted in our psyches, where as soon as something happens to us negative, we go into a shell and we go into hiding. I did the exact opposite. मैंने तो from the rooftops I cheeked and told the whole world, I have cancer. आज मेरी सर्जरी होगी, परसों मेरा ये होगा, तरसों ये होगा. Today I'm feeling screwed. Tomorrow today I'm feeling slightly better. I used to make videos constantly and upload them on my social media platforms. And what did that do? I only did it to prove one thing, that boss, there's no shame in this. But जो मेरा mission था of doing this, to prove that there's no shame in admitting that you're unwell, you're not doing well, you're not feeling well, the love and support outpouring I got from people who I'd never even spoken to was a huge, huge catalyst and strength for me to bounce back.
Right. So you also talk about parenting in your session. So what you feel that parents must know about their kids, which they often don't know?
First, तो I think कि parents बनने से पहले एक exam होना चाहिए. Only if people pass the exam should they be allowed to become parents. And you know what? मैं कोई expert नहीं हूँ. I have not studied parenting. My wife and I have a 3-year-old daughter, and we are as much part of the grand experiment as any other parents. I don't claim to know anything more than anybody else. मैं केवल इतना जानता हूँ कि आप as an individual, चाहे आप माँ हो या बाप हो या दादी हो या दादा हो या नाना हो या नानी, आप अपने इंडिविजुअल की दृष्टि से आपके जो भी बिलीफ्स हैं, जो भी आपका मॉरल कंपस है, वैल्यू सिस्टम है, आप अपनी कोई भी थिंकिंग को अपने बच्चे पर ना थोपें. That's it. That's बहुत मैंने शायद बहुत ही इसको सिंपलिस्टिक कर दिया है, but that is really what I believe. Treat that individual like an individual. Yes, that individual is part of you, it's come out of you, but now it's come out of you, boss. It's its own individual. Please accept that and treat it as such. चाहे वो उस बच्चे का sexual preference हो या subject preference हो.
Right. So हम टैलेंट की बात करते हैं. We often talk about talent. जब आपने बात कही, मुझे सचिन तेंदुलकर की याद आ रही है. सचिन तेंदुलकर 10वीं की परीक्षा में कई बार फेल हुए थे. He failed in class 10 board exams several times, and we were in school at that time. We used to pray कि ये पास हो जाए. That was the condition. And he was world's greatest batsman at that time, right? And he was like the greatest hero of India. So we knew he was more talented than anybody else, but he was terrible when it came to his academics, his studies. And school kids used to pray that he passes, and finally he passed. He passed class 10, and India's greatest hero, he was Sachin Tendulkar. So a person might not be successful at something and might be very highly successful at something else. So that's true. So you think talent is a God's gift, or is it something which one can develop on and take it further, or is it a mixture? Because some people are good singers, they cannot be good dancers. Some people are good writers, they cannot be good uh, listeners. There is a mixture of things. So there is something which comes when a person is born, and then he can develop on it. So what are your views on it?
Okay, so I think that God gifted talent and developing a talent are separate things. I don't think we should connect them. If you are, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि गॉड गिफ्टेड टैलेंट एक व्यक्ति में, एक इंडिविजुअल में, एक बच्चे में कभी डिस्कवरी नहीं होता है, तो उसका क्या फायदा हुआ? और कई बार ये होता है कि जो इंट्रिंसिकली, इनेटली, जेनेटिकली गिफ्टेड ना हो, वो हार्ड वर्क से एक टैलेंट डेवलप कर लेता है. So let's separate those two things first and foremost. Overall, मेरा view ये है talent पे, that it is largely 80%, 20% let's give to the school, largely the parents' role, duty, responsibility to be observant enough of their kids to identify early signs of not just talent, but inclination, passion, leanings. हर बच्चा signals देगा, clear signals towards his or her natural leaning towards certain kind of activities. So you have to be a very, very, very aware and present parent to pick up on those hints and then gently support and nudge the child in that direction. अगर आप बहुत व्यस्त parent हो या, and व्यस्त, let me clarify, people tell me कि हम कैसे काम दाम छोड़ के और अपने बच्चों के साथ बैठ जाएं. मैं बिल्कुल ये नहीं बोल रहा हूं. आपको दिन में 5 मिनट मिलते हैं ना आपके चाइल्ड के साथ स्पेंड करने के लिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But those 5 minutes you have to be fully present there. Your mind, body, soul, everything has to be there. No phone, no work, no other thoughts. And those 5 minutes will be enough quality time for you to observe your child objectively and pick up on those hints that the child is displaying, and then nudge that child towards blossoming, honing, developing that talent.
So any final message from you to our audience?
My final message always and only is remain curious and remain a child. Till your dying day, remain curious and remain a child. Expose yourself to opportunities and experiences, and don't be afraid of discovering new things about yourself, even if they contradict what you've already discovered about yourself and you've been doing. It's okay. You can do more than one thing. There's this tendency in society of shoehorning people into a shoebox. It's really irritating. I'm deeply interested in music, books, art, culture, cinema, and education. पर अब ये हालत हो गई है that when a publication approaches me to write an article, they will only want me to give them an education-based article. और मुझे हो सकता है कि उस हफ्ते फिल्म के बारे में लिखना हो, but they will not allow that, because हम ये accept ही नहीं कर सकते हैं that we are all multifaceted individuals with various interests. I hope the world changes a little bit and we can be evolved enough to see ourselves and everyone around us as multifaceted individuals who love various things and simultaneously pursue various things.
So that was my conversation with Mr. Kartik Bajoria. It was nice to hear from him, knowing his perspective on different issues, different subjects. The way he spoke, it is very clear that he believes in projecting and coming up with his ideas very strongly, and he has strong views about things, and he what he desires most is to change the world. He wants a transformation in the world, especially with regards to the coming up generation. So with that, I end this conversation now.